Hi everyone, welcome to CEO Meets. I'm Pip Wilkins, and today really pleased to be joined by Ken and Lucy from Right at Home. So guys, you've been in franchising for a while. Tell us all about Right at Home and how long you've been in franchising and a bit more about what you do.
Certainly, Pip. Just a little bit of background. What we do is we provide care to vulnerable adults in their own home. So the easy way of looking at that is we provide a very valid alternative to people going into a care home. So we look after people in their own home. Whilst we do work with the government, most of our work is in the private sector. So it's 70% private work, although we do some government work, as I said. We're really at the quality end of the market. If you look at the regulator ratings, I think most people are aware of the Care Quality Commission, similar to Ofsted. We've got 100% good, and 27% of our offices are outstanding, overall outstanding, when the average in the sector is 3%. So quality is a big part of what we do. In terms of franchising, we've always had a measured growth strategy. Our territories are typically larger than some of our competitors. And we've always gone for 6 to 8 quality franchisees a year. So 6 to 8 rather than high numbers. We want, real continuity of quality franchises. So I'm glad to say, we're in our 10th year of franchising, and in September we'll have done 10 years of franchising, and we'll bang on between that 6 and 8 mark. So our plan is to have 100 locations by the end of 2025.
And I'm so proud that for the whole 10 years, you've actually been a part of the BFA. So we've been a part of your whole journey. Now, the last, 12 months have been difficult for lots of different reasons for loads of different businesses. What's been the thing for you, Lucy, that you've done to keep your network engaged in the last year?
Well, Pip, this is something I think we could talk about forever and a day, but as we've only got a limited amount of time, I'll just share with you some of the highlights, if that's all right. So, firstly, we're really, really fortunate that our franchise owners are absolutely fantastic individuals. They really do hold our values true to their heart. So we were fortunate enough that they were always going to be really receptive to us in this crucial period. We've also fostered a culture of we're all in this together. So when the pandemic did hit, our franchise owners importantly knew that we'd do everything in our power to support them. And this meant always acting in their best interests. What we wanted to do was to ensure that they could really focus what was important. So remove all the pain points, if you like, ultimately allowing them to focus on providing the critical care and support to the clients at a time when they'd really never needed it more. So key to this, above everything, was communication, which is always something we pride ourselves on really focusing on at Right at Home. And given the fast changing environment that we were operating in, sometimes the guidance was changing overnight. So we decided to really heighten our communication and did things like weekly communications calls, recorded webinars, frequent pieces of written communication, ultimately trying to really simplify the complex communication and advice and guidance, again, so our owners could really focus on what was important. Also, I'm sure you're more than aware of, the PPE requirements faced by our sector and some of the challenges in acquiring that. So we sourced that at national level and also paid for it quite significantly. At the same time, we launched a recruitment hotline, and Ken and I made a point of speaking to every single franchise owner on a fortnightly basis to check in on their well-being, as well as rolling out a national well-being programme with training and supported services.
Wow, so not a small feat in the last year. You guys have obviously been very busy.
Absolutely.
What's been the biggest challenge for you, though?
The biggest challenge for us, I think ultimately has, you know, in the early days really was to ensure that we were really keeping the network calm in a time when understandably tensions were rising. And I think the speed at which the guidance was changing, you know, it was, you know, really, really important for us to ensure that they had confidence that the advice and guidance that we were providing was going to keep them safe during that period. And of course, you know, for us, being a people-based business, our franchise owners really build their businesses by going out into the community and engaging, and obviously that was taken away from them. So I think they certainly found that they'd had their wings clipped, and we needed to look at, you know, alternative ways to support them to continue to grow their client base. Unfortunately, you know, as a franchise, we managed to continuously grow month on month throughout the pandemic, but there were certainly challenges faced along the way.
And so has it made you look, you know, at what you're looking for in a franchisee differently, or are you still recruiting franchisees with very much the same view that you were before?
Sorry, Ken.
Sorry, Lucy, but I thought I'd pick up on that. I think very much similar. If anything, it's even made it more important, the importance of mindset, you know, having a strong, resilient mindset. And that's one of the key factors we're looking for in every franchisee.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, you know, these businesses are long term, and if you haven't got the mindset that you're in it for the long term, and the journey will be tough at times. Life is tough. But starting a business is very, very tough at times, you know, so you've got to have that strong mindset. So even more focused on that, Pip.
Absolutely. So we're obviously on our roadmap now out of kind of lockdown. What's the sort of plans for Right at Home over the next 12 months? What are you looking forward to?
Well, not just the next 12 months, Pip.
The next 5 years then, Ken.
Yeah, well done. We're very clear on where we want to be by 2025. Very ambitious for the brand. We want to be the most trusted brand in home care, and trust comes through a lot of ratings by both your staff and by your clients. So we've got all those measures in place. You know, we're sitting around 70 franchises. We want 100 franchisees by 2025, the end of 2025, with 100 million group turnover. And if you think about that, that's averaging 1 million per franchisee.
That's brilliant numbers.
And
really great.
You know, we're confident we will be there. We want a brand that we can be proud of. But we're really into the innovation, and we've got some really exciting plans on the innovation front that really, at this stage, we can't share with you, Pip.
Oh.
I'd have to shoot you if I shared them. Well,
I have no doubt that you will be sharing some of that with me when we do the awards later in the year.
Yeah.
But let's talk about awards for a moment. So Lucy, you've been named Woman Franchisor of the Year for 2 years in a row now. And we've obviously got a very recent partnership with eWork that we're really proud of. How does it feel that you've won that accolade twice?
Oh, you know, obviously, Pip, absolutely over the moon. So thrilled. You know, to win it once was fantastic, but for 2 consecutive years, it was really, really unexpected actually, and it meant a huge amount to me. But you know, yes, it's a personal award, but for me, I really saw it as recognition of the tremendous endeavours of our entire Right at Home network, and particularly after the year that it's been, it just meant so much to everyone, I think.
Oh, it's brilliant. No, huge congratulations. It's not easy because I was involved in the judging process for the first time this year, and it really wasn't easy to choose who the winners were. I have one final question. I ask everybody this, so I'd like one from each of you. What would be your top tip for anyone that's now looking into franchising? Ken, let's start with you.
You just want one?
You only get one? Lucy's having one as well.
I only got one of it. I could give you about 20, but I'll give you...
I'll give you 2 at a push. Go on.
Right. Okay. So firstly, I think you've got to ensure the brand values and the business model absolutely fits with what you want personally, you know, the personal motivators, your personal ambitions. Because if they don't, you know, it's not going to be right for you, and you're going to get stuck into something that isn't quite right. The other thing to remember when you're coming into franchising, you're not buying a job, you know, so it will mean possibly several years of early sacrifice and living life like most people wouldn't want to, because you might have to work that bit harder. But what it does bring, you know, if you do it right, you'll be able to live life in the future like most people couldn't.
Yeah.
So early on, you'll be living life like most people wouldn't, for in the future, living a life that most people couldn't.
Yeah. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Lucy, what have you got to add?
I think for me, what's really important is just for anybody considering franchising to remember that they're not buying a job. You know, almost all franchise models, and certainly Right at Home does, require our franchise owners to be personally responsible for generating the inquiries and essentially turning them into the customers or clients. So I think individuals need to consider, do they have the skill set and importantly the mindset to do this? And just remember that, you know, the franchisor, they can give you all the tools, the resources, the support, the proven business model, but what they can't do is run the business for you. And you really do need to be able to hold yourself accountable for doing that and be self-reflective along the way, and ultimately engage in the training and the learning experiences which are presented by the franchise. And yes, you know, as Ken said, it will be tough in the early days, but if you want to be then, you know, engagement is key, and, you know, you've got to get out there and generate those inquiries.
Yeah, Pip, could I just add though, if I learned anything from the last 12 months, it's how good and committed our people are. I mean, you know, from our caregivers who just did that extra, owners, their staff, they were just amazing, the lengths everyone went to. I mean, here at National Office, I've got to say, you know, people were working late into the night, weekends, not even asked to do it. They just saw it as, we have to do this to get through this pandemic. And we've been lucky. We've been in a sector that's kept really busy, but, you know, really the staff have been fantastic. Every one of them have kept this business going during that time.
Do you know what? It is testament to you guys as a network. You know, I've been to a number of your events and you have that real family feel, where everyone lives and breathes the values of Right at Home. Also super proud that, you know, you are one of the very few established networks that we have that has 100% of your franchisees on board with the BFA too. So these people are absolutely committed, not just to your brand, but to franchising as a whole.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today. It was brilliant to talk to you both, and look forward to seeing you soon and hearing more about your innovations during the awards later in the year. Thanks guys.
Pip.
Thank you.